Good morning to Keep the Faith with Pastor Frank. Um, like I said, I always say every morning, it's good to see everybody online, but I'd like for you to say hi. So, uh, good morning, Brother Gary. It's good to see you online. Uh, say hi, like the stream, share it, subscribe, click all the stuff so that we can keep getting out there a little further. Uh, so, um, just we'll get started this morning. We're going to be talking about, I guess the best way to say it is trusting God with yourself. And good morning, Charlotte. It's good to see you. And Russell, Brother Russell, it's good to see you. Sheila, good to see you. Brother James, good to see you this morning. And Brother Lewis and Sister Gail, it's good to see you online. Like I said, we're going to be talking about trusting God with you. As we approach Easter, can't talk very well this much. As we approach Easter, the celebration of Easter, the resurrection, the celebration, then we, look for things. I was actually looking for several things, but I thought this would be appropriate this morning. Good morning, Sister Liz. It's good to see you. I thought this would be appropriate this morning because in all of this, in our text, the first part that I read will just literally, we talk about Jesus and all of the miracles he did, the things that he did. But one of the things that he had to do that is just incredible is he had to trust God with himself. And each of us need to take that as a guideline or demonstration of what we can trust God. We can trust God with ourselves too. So if you've got your Bible and you would like, let's look at Luke, the Gospel of Luke, chapter 23. I'm sorry, there's not a 33. Luke 23, and we'll go to verse 39, and I'm going to read quite a few verses here. This is with Jesus on the cross, and it says, one of the criminals hanging beside him scoffed, "So you're the Messiah, are you? Prove it by saving yourself and us too while you're at it." But the other criminal protested, "Don't you fear God when you have been sentenced to die? We deserve to die for our crimes, but this man hasn't done anything wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus replied, "I assure you, today you will be with me in paradise." By that time it was noon, and darkness fell across the whole land until 3 o'clock. The light from the sun was gone, and suddenly the curtain in the sanctuary of the temple was torn down the middle. Then Jesus shouted, "Father, I entrust my spirit into your hands." And with those words, he breathed his last. I'm going to read that again. "Father, I entrust my spirit into your hands." And with those words, he breathed his last. When the Roman officer overseeing the execution saw what had happened, he worshiped God and said, "Surely this man was innocent." And when all the crowd came to see the crucifixion and saw what had happened, they went home in deep sorrow. But Jesus' friends, including the women who had followed him from Galilee, stood at a distance watching. So, good morning, Vanessa. It's good to see you online with us this morning. And it's good to see Mother online. Good to see you. So this morning, we see Jesus on the cross. And of course, this is a particular instance where the two criminals that were being crucified had conversation with him, and between themselves, one recognizing his guilt and understanding he was worthy of death, the other wanting Jesus, if he really was the Christ, to take him down off of the cross and save everybody from death. So I think it's interesting to note that even though the one criminal did not want to die, he recognized that his crimes made him worthy to die. And Jesus, a lot of times, his last words were very, very significant. I think that show just an incredible amount of trust in God. And sometimes it's hard for us to trust God just to get us through today. And Jesus, literally at the moment of his death, told his Father, I trust you with my life and trust you with my spirit. So the thing is we can get security teams. We can do all of the stuff that we want to do. You know, one of the things that's interesting about COVID-19, all of the big security teams and bodyguards and stuff couldn't protect people from COVID-19. And neither can all of the security that you can get and all of the special gadgets you can get to try to keep yourself safe. None of the, all of that stuff is only temporary. So there has to come a time where we realize that the idea that security can be found in anything other than Christ is really not true. The thing is that if you think that having bodyguards or having lots of money or having strong homes, all of that kind of stuff there's nothing wrong with that. But the deal is we have to really realize that sooner or later, we are going to be in the same position that Jesus was in and say, I trust my spirit into your hands, Lord. And that's what we need to place our trust in is God. Now, I'm speaking today on a personal basis. It's easy to trust God for others. You know, when someone says, I need you to pray for me, we can pray fervently for someone else. When it comes to us, we need to be willing to trust God personally, and then we can better trust God for others. So, Jesus found his security in God. That's where we need to find our security. He found his earthly security while he was on the earth. He found his security in doing God's will. And here we go. It's really simple. It's not hard to understand. If we want to find security in this world today, then we need to strive to do God's will and not be so caught up in trying to protect ourselves from everything. But as we're doing God's will, then we begin to trust God with us. And that's what we need to do. So there's a story told about an American minister that visited a mission hospital, and the doctor asked him, the surgeon asked him, would you like to see a major operation? And the operation lasted for about 6 or 7 hours. And there were none of the really nice conditions that you have here in the U.S. And when the operation was over, the minister asked the doctor, he said, well, is this an average day? And the surgeon said, well, how much would this operation be paid in America, and it was an exorbitant amount. And he said, "Well, how much are you paid for this operation?" And there was a little lady who had been wheeled into the operating room. She had only a copper coin, begging him to save her life. And he said, "My pay is her gratitude and my master's smile." So what he was really saying is, I don't do this for the money. I do this because this is what God's will for my life is. And we need to understand that a lot of times that we really, as we go forward in our adventure in this life, is that really what we should be striving to do is to do God's will, not so much. I don't want to say not being successful, but so many people get so caught up in trying to be successful in certain pursuits in life that they forget that just doing God's will makes them not only a people that are successful in their own right, but a people who are going to reach out to others and pour their life into being a lighthouse, a stepping stone to this living adventure that we live, so that people can enjoy their relationship with God. So this morning, as we think about Easter is near, and the things that lead up to the crucifixion, and this story is particularly taken at the crucifixion as they were crucified. So Jesus answers before he says those very profound words. He answers the one thief. He said, "Today you'll be with me in paradise." And not long after says, "Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit." Now, I know that a lot of times, especially most of us, like to be in control. We like to be in control of our life. We like to be in control of what's going on. We like to be in control of our job. We like to be in control of everything. But I'm going to tell you that, and this is something that's important for us to understand. The security we try to find by trying to be in control of our life and trying to be in control of our job, control of our home, and control of all of the things that surround us is really not found in being in control. It's found, true security is found by allowing God to truly be in control of all that's around you. And then we find our security in God, not in the things of this world. So this morning, I just want to encourage you. Find your security, your hope in Christ, and not in the things of this world or the things this world can provide you. I'm not telling anyone don't enjoy there's some beautiful things in the world. There's some great experiences you can have. I'm old enough to have had a lot of experiences. I wouldn't trade them for anything, but I don't find my security in the things I can do any longer. You see, as I've gotten older, I've found out I can't do some of the things that I used to do so well. And I found that not only that, I have to trust in someone else. And so many, many years ago, I chose that someone else to be Jesus Christ. And so I place my heart, life, and soul in his hands. In him, I find the security that I need to know that as I go forward in this life adventure, he will have me in his hands. And as I step from here into eternity, I will commend my spirit into his hands. So this morning, I just want to encourage you. Let God have control. You enjoy being who God's called you to be, and Always remember to keep the faith, as God has got this. Don't let anybody tell you any different. It's been good being with you this morning. I pray the Lord would just touch you and minister to you and just bless you greatly today. And this has been Pastor Frank. Keep the faith, and I'll see you tomorrow morning at 6:30.